Hello YouTube, this is What Army here with a new deck profile for my updated Dark World deck. Um, Pretty much, considering that this format, there's going to be a lot of spells and traps played now that Heavy Storm is gone and all that. Main thing they have to worry about is MSTs. Main thing I have to worry about with this deck is Karakuris, Elemental Dragons, Anti-Meta. Name anything else in the comments if you find anything. But get on with the deck profile here. Have three brow, one, two, uh, three brows, staple card, just like in the previous deck profile. Three Cerulean, still play this card, really works in the deck for this format. Three gold, works with Cerulean, helps me get more spells and traps, pretty much pops the back row. Um, Through Grapha, if I'm playing against elemental dragons and all that, I can easily get control over his monster and probably tribute it, though it would screw me over if he summons with it in the graveyard. So, Morphing Jar. This format definitely went Morphing Jar. Uh, that it helps me, in a way, it kind of helps me get cards back into my hand. Um, Region, Buick's, Overlord of the Dark World here mainly works with Cerulean. I use him just for the point of getting his effect when he's discarded to destroy spells and traps or monsters. Main reason. Silva, three Silvas. The only reason being is because previous format and all that, I wasn't able to access my rank 5 Xyz monsters. Is kind of what's needed in the deck here. Um, Snow. Snow's always a good card to have. It's a search, so because of that, it's a staple. It's really hard to run the deck without any kind of search in it. It's even harder to run it without an Xyz or extra deck and all that. Also, I will probably be making a synchro version of this deck itself. So after that, on to the spells and traps. Have three Dark World Billings. That's good in there, especially if he discards a monster and all that. It helps with the other cards in my deck. Uh, Drag down into the grave so I can view his hand. I used to run Mind Crush in here just to keep cards out of his hand, but because of that, the deck was too focused on keeping cards out of my opponent's hands. So, in so many words, I had too many discard outlets again. Not enough discard outlets for the amount of monsters that I had. Cheerful Coffin. I still use that. Get three snow, add a field card, Cerulean and Graph of the hand, the usual, or anything I need in order to get the upper hand here, as long as he doesn't destroy my field card. The field card the gates of the Dark World. Only thing that pisses me off is when people decide they're going to use an MST in the middle of the field card. I still don't think that that's a correct way to play. If I'm correct, you activate that, then they chain to it, or you activate the effect and they chain to it. In other words, you have to activate and ask your opponent, do they have anything they want to chain to it? And after that, they can't chain to it afterwards. The effect has to carry through because they had nothing. According to how Death Pro works, just saying. It's not a dick move, but after the person does it, you want to call them an asshole, which I've done that numerous amounts of times. So, next one, Dark Smog. Like I said, if he discards monsters, I want to keep his monsters in the grave and all that. That's why I need Morphing Jar, uh, Drag Down, uh, pretty much all the discard outlets that I have so far. Plus, it's a plus, I get a discard. Eradicator. Now, I use Eradicator, especially if I have it in the hand. Usually, in the game, I'll get it when I really need it. And thus, whenever I do that, I'll either yell out Destiny Draw or I'm gonna win this bitch. In so many words, I would say something like that. So, Eradicator and all that, and you have Drag Down into the grave, see what's in his hand, then call what he probably needs most in the deck after playing him for a little while. It helps keep cards out of his hand. That's the main point of the deck. Force Requisition. This, for some odd reason, didn't work in the previous format, but this format is one of those cards that say it's pretty much like a big fuck you. I'm gonna do this. Uh, you have to discard when I discard, and it really helps, especially if you have to discard numerous amounts. Like with Morphing Jar, and you have discard on field afterwards. You activate Morphing Jar. You all discard your cards and draw 5 cards. His hand is going to be empty because you discard it, which means your opponent has a discard. Because he has a discard, he doesn't have any way of backing his uh, recovering. Next turn, if you can't game him, he's going to have only 1 card in hand. Unless he's using a deck like Elemental Dragons and all that, then you may have a problem because if they get Dragosack out. Really bad that they didn't ban the majority enough of the Elemental Dragon cards so that you can't use them in the. It's like a mass production, in other words. So I took out Mind Crush, the 3 Mind Crush, and just put it into the Forces of Darkness. Running 1 extra 1 seemed like bad luck, also because my experience was 666. So afterwards, I started winning a lot of them. It's hell trying to win previous ones with that experience. Surprising, isn't it? But return to the hand. For example, if I'm trying to draw into a Grapha and all that, or just get cards in hand, after this card's been sent to the graveyard, I'll probably activate one of these and add these 2 cards back. Or if I were to start getting monsters, like my opponent's playing a lot of monsters after I use Drag Down to the grave and all that, and I see that he has a lot of monsters in hand, all monsters, and he draws another monster afterwards, I would add Cerulean and Grapha and use any of my discard outlets to get a monster out of his hand. And like I said, getting Chaos Sorcerer, Blackluster Soldier, and all that, that is hilarious because your opponent doesn't have anything to do. You just start banishing his cards and all that. It does tend to piss them off more than chain burns. So getting on to the side deck, in the side deck, there's probably only like 4 cards that I need out of it. The rest are fillers from what I already have. Marshmelon, I already have that. Just need something to fill in the side deck so I could be able to use the other ones. One of these days, Marshmelon may actually come in handy, which I would be surprised. Dark Hole, that's one of them that I need just in case going up against Elemental Dragons destroy his tokens after he detaches and uses so many of them. And MSTs just in case, because the deck is weak against was that Royal Prison, Shadow Imprisoning Mirror, and it was Soul Drain if I'm correct. So Mystical Space Typhoon will be needed, and usually for that I either trade in Force Requisition and 1 Cheerful Coffin, or all 3 Cheerful Coffins. But like I said, I still need my discard, so probably would just have 2 Cheerful Coffins after I side. Now, because Cool 56 runs Light and Constellus and all that, and the deck itself is pretty much a pain in the ass. I got Morphing Jar, and he just decided to be an ass and return it to hand. And yeah, I kind of quit the duel in a blind rage there. So Light Imprisoning Mirror, just negate all light monsters' effects. He's also going to be using his Worm deck again, which means this is definitely going to be a card that'll come in handy. Magic Cylinder. I was trying to make a Fire King deck earlier today, and I won by a Magic Cylinder. It may seem noobish, but if the person couldn't think their way around it, then that's on them. It doesn't make me noob or anything because I use it. It just means that you need to work on your deck. Mirror Force. I could side in 2, but only reason being is because the other cards I have in here. I want to make sure I get those just in case I'm going up against Karakuris and all that. I have defenses set up. Whether or not they work, I don't know. If I go to locals and they have Karakuris, I might as well just watch how the rest of the duels play out and everything after I lose. Negate Attack. Don't really need this card in here, like I said, filler. Solemn Warning would probably be good to have in the main deck if I'm going up against Karakuris. It will stop the deck as soon as he gets that second synchro out, or the first one. It'll just put a complete halt to it. Barrier Statue of the Abyss. Now this is specifically for other decks that don't play dark monsters and all that. But to tell you the truth, it's not really that good. I would have to set it and hope that my opponent doesn't attack or something. Or if I have Dark Smog, opponent attacks, activate Dark Smog to banish one of his monsters, and then send Graph to the graveyard. Destroy that card, and then summon it. Because it's already flipped face up and all that. Uh, so, Burial Statue, I have 2 of these. It's a good card to have handy if need be. I don't really see too many people using this. I probably saw one person use it, and that was about it. So, on to the extra deck here. I have Adrius, Keeper of Armageddon. That's a really good card, especially if have a card that you can't get over. I was trying to run Black Ship of Corn in this, didn't really work. I have a lot of fillers in here. I bought 5,000 Yu-Gi-Oh cards from Card Trader. Still doing business with the guy. Probably give you information on him. So if you want to buy cards from him and all that, and I will be doing a binder update. So while I'll be showing you what I have for trade. CXYZ, Met Cryptid, Dungeon, Genie, one of the two. You know what this card is. Haven't really got to use this one. Never really get 3 snows on field, but just in case one of these days I do, a good card to have. I'm assuming it would be. Yeah, because it says when this card inflicts battle damage to your opponent, you can detach 1 exceeds material from this card, inflict 1,000 damage to your opponent again. So after that, 3 Gagagigo, just in case I have Snow out. Although I would exchange this one for this one, just because I can do probably 3,600 damage, the usual. Heroic Champion Excalibur, really good. Again, just in case I get snows or if I have these and I can get them out. We all know why I have Hieratic Sun Dragon, Overlord of Hell. Can't read that part. We all know why I have that on here. It just helps deplete the black back row of my opponent. Utopia probably end up being able to get snow on the field just to start negating attacks. Number 63 and all that. Use this one with Cerulea if I can, just in case I need to draw a card and all that because of its effect. At the start of the opponent's next standby phase, each player draws 1 card. Each player gains 1,000 life points, the usual. Another filler, One-Eyed Skill Gainer. Just in case I'm going up with Xyz, I'll either try to aim for a Grapher by returning the hand or shoot for a snow, 2 snows on the field or 3 just to get that card. Unless he lowers the levels of my monsters, then it'll be really easy for him to do that. Slack a Magician, again for Cerulea, just in case. Tidus, if I can't really summon to me at times, and I at least have 2 level 5s and all that, and pretty much a bad draw with 2 level 5s and probably 1 or 2 discard outlets, then yeah, Tidus would be the way to go. He can't be destroyed except by battle and all that. Plus, I get to start depleting my opponent's back row. And this one right here, I have no need for whatsoever. Unless I get this out along with Morphing Jar and change it to face down defense position. The end phase, change it back up to face up attack position. I get the effect again, along with many more, and it would just be a big way to screw my opponent over. So that's about it. The main point of this deck, the only reason why I have it number 1 is because I plan on making a lot more as soon as I can cut away from the Dark Worlds and all that. Plan on making a lot more of these. May try to make one in the OTK for OTK standards and all that. I know I had one last format and everything, and then when I heard that Sony Cards were getting banned, I decided to re-edit it. I lost so badly that day. So, I have made this deck purposely for this format. I don't want my opponent keeping a whole bunch of spells and traps down. If the opponent is dumb enough to get me to return a graphic to the hand and all that, unless they have a way to recover from that if I use him, then I don't know. The deck is kind of good. Is good against Karakuris. It just depends on what you get and how you play it. Six Samurais and all that. Six Samurais are still a pain in the ass, just like Elemental Dragons and all that. So, any ideals for a new deck and all that? Let me know. That's about it. Also, like, subscribe, comment, and like my Facebook page. It'll be in the description below. Thank you, YouTube, and see you next time. The What Army out.